Hey everybody, Robert with RC Archery, and you're watching Patreon only content. I appreciate you becoming a member of my Patreon channel and helping support what I'm doing with the RC Archery YouTube channel and website, products, developments, reviews, and all of that good information. Today's video for my Tier 1 and Tier 2 members and subscribers is going to be an in-depth view on what I'm doing to stabilize my bow arm and make my sight picture as well and as good as I can make it for that day. Now, I talked about this in the YouTube video today. It is Tuesday's tip of the week, I believe 46, but it's the one that's coming out along with this set of videos here. The overall movement and what we're seeing with the bow arm, it works like a shock absorber on a car. So what that does is it keeps you from having an expanded travel of movement, and then it minimizes the movement that happens. And we do that with our bow arm by relaxing the correct parts of it and then softly tensing up the other parts of the shoulder as well. And the big parts of that I talked about again in my video and I'll briefly review here is relaxing from our forearm down, so forearm, wrist, and hand. Obviously, the wrist and the hand needs to be relaxed, keep you from inducing torque on the bow, but having a very slight amount of tension in the elbow and not hyperextending or overextending it and not letting it be bent and just really trying to curl the bow still. You still want to have a natural placement of the elbow out, just exactly the way that you would see it here. So not hyperextended and stretched out, not bent, just normal. But you do want to have a little bit of tension in it because, again, it's a joint, it has muscles, it has tendons there, and you want to be able to stabilize it some. The majority of what we're going to be working on with stabilizing the bow arm revolves around our shoulder. Now, again, the shoulder is a super complex joint, most complex joint on our entire bodies. And because of that, there's a lot of muscles that surround it in order to stabilize it. Those muscles are the ones that we're needing to engage and not overflex, because if we overflex and over tense the muscles surrounding the shoulder, the muscles here in our back and along our side, all we're really doing in that situation is inducing small tremors because we're over tensing muscles, and we're taking away the body's subconscious aiming and the subconscious shot execution that we can have as well. And what I mean by that is that if you will hold your bow on target and aim, your bow is going to float in a pattern, whatever pattern that may be for you and whatever pattern it may be for one shot to the next. If you will allow your brain to see the motion and see the movement and not fight it or control it, then you will allow your subconscious to take over for you, and you will actually be able to time the small amount of movement that you need to execute the release with when the pin is coming back to the middle. This is how you see professional archers hitting shot after shot in the middle, along with other things obviously too. But you will have the highest percentage value of opportunity to be able to hit in the middle doing this. And that's a really hard concept for a lot of archers. A lot of people want to control the shot, time the shot, and make the shot happen when they deem fit. But I will tell you that if you think about stepping one foot in front of the other and walking down a tightrope, or walking down a line, or whatever it may be, a balance beam, whatever you can find. So the next time, do this. This is what I did with my son when we were talking about this concept. Took him to a parking lot when we were walking in a store, and I had him walk down one of the concrete little barrier bumpers that you put at the front of a parking space, step by step. And the first time I had him do it, I told him, I said, I want you to stare at the middle of the concrete step in your foot, and I want you to forcefully put your foot directly in the middle, step after step after step, and walk all the way down without falling. And he couldn't do it. He made it about 3 steps and just wobbled, dabbed his foot, and said, I'll try it again. And he did it a couple more times, never could get it. Now, after that, I told him, I said, now this time, I want you to step up on the front of it, look at the end where you're going to end your walk. So all the way down at the other end. And I want you to just go to that end and look at that end the entire time. Don't think about what your feet are doing. Don't think about what your body's doing, nothing. Just look at the end and then walk. Made it down at no problem. Turned around, did it again, made it again. It's because your body, when you fight what you're doing, you can't consciously do more than one or two things at all. And you really can only do one thing consciously. But your subconscious controls 1,000 factors of your body. Your breathing, your heart rate, your muscle contractions, everything. I mean, it does it all for you, right? Your subconscious is your most strong point when you're shooting your bow as well. And it's the exact same concept of walking down the balance beam or walking down the side of the bumper there for the car, the parking lot spot when we aim. And we're aiming on target by looking at where we want to hit and allowing it to happen, not forcing it to happen. So I went down a rabbit hole there, but it's incredibly important to allow you to understand what we're doing with the muscle joints and not over controlling the shot. So joints that we're going to do and what we're going to have here, this one that holds the back of our shoulder, the one that holds the front of our shoulder, these are your two extremely important ones that you're going to be able to tense up a little bit and kind of hold, and then this top one here. You'll notice when you hold your arm up from your side, there's a little bit of a divot here. Depending on the size of your shoulder muscles and what you're looking at, there's a divot right on top of your shoulder joint where it meets, where the bones meet together right here. Top of your shoulder, side, and the side on the back. These are the ones that we want to focus on slightly tensing up and engaging. Engaging is the best word that I can use for this, because if I tell people to flex it, they overflex and it causes problem. We want to engage it, and then we want to hold that engagement there while we're allowing our tricep here, this muscle on the outside of our arm, to kind of push out towards the target. So you're here and you're a little bit pushed out and you're engaged, and then you're using the side muscle and your back muscle here to hold the shoulder down. These muscles hold it in place left and right, a little bit up and down. The back here around your scapula and these side muscles right under your armpit, that's what's holding it down. And you're using that muscle group in order to hold your hand on target very still. So I can point at the camera right here, I can engage those muscles, and even while I'm talking to you, I can still keep them fairly still. But you'll notice that if I raise this arm up and I don't engage those muscles and I'm here and I point at the camera as I'm talking to you, they're going to move around some, no matter if I'm breathing or my heart's moving or whatever it is. And the movement's not wild and it's not crazy, but it is more. And when we're looking downrange at our sight pin, you can definitely see that, right? So those are the muscles that I say to use that work the best for me and the way to do it. Next week, I'm going to add on to this concept, and I'm actually going to explain to you the way that I'm aiming and the way that I'm executing to separate everything out, keep my arm on target to finish the shot, and how to let my subconscious take over in order to hit the middle the highest percentage of times that I'm capable of doing. So if I stay out of my mental, way, I'll hit the middle. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate you subscribing. Share the content as best as you can. I know you can't share the videos, but you can tell your friends, other archers, people that are around you at your shop, archery talk, whatever it may be, about this channel so that they can come here and view tips like today. This week's Patreon Tier 2 content, the extra content, will be the review on the GOAT release. This review may never leave my Patreon channel. You'll see when you watch it as to why that may be. But if it does, you'll at least get an up-close view of it ahead of time. You'll get first rights to this review and the information. Appreciate everybody watching again, and for your subscriptions, I'll see you soon.